Thank you ever so.
Takes away.
Which is more mind-numbing, waiting around to do
Speed.
movies or interviews?
Oh, I have to say interviews.
Thank you. Let's talk about causes for just a second before we get to the movie, because movies, you've been talking about the movie quite a bit. You are asked, I'm sure, on a regular basis to lend your name to causes and things. Do you feel yourself being pulled in that direction? Will you support something like an Amnesty or a Greenpeace? Or
I will, and those two particular causes I'm very avidly in support of. I will to a point. I think that the nature of what I do gives me the opportunity to be able to support certain causes when necessary. At the same time, there is a kind of strange dichotomy in that when certain people in this position, actors, kind of go about flailing so much of their political, religious beliefs, I find for me as an audience member that it does this when I'm watching a movie and it bothers me. And I have spent an hour and 47 minutes in a movie and couldn't stop thinking that this man was a Republican. Do you know what I mean?
Isn't that what you're supposed to be thinking?
Drove me absolutely mad. So I think to a point until it starts to, I think if what you do can help a cause is a wondrous thing.
Yeah.
And gives you a great opportunity to, to give whatever help you can as an individual in this world. At the same time, it's not fair to take that so far as it begins to damage what you actually have geared your life towards to begin with, which is putting up a barrier between you and an audience. So yeah, I mean, I have my beliefs and I have my real ardent feelings about very specific things. I try specifically not to ever be too outspoken on my politics or my beliefs of spirituality, religion, whatever you want to call it,
But are you a religious person?
I'm a spiritual person.
Fine. Then how did this script strike you first time? You know what first time instincts are. They're usually the best, the gut instinct. Did you see the draw between life and death and the morality of the script and how the movie would be shot? Questioning those values in you?
I think initially, my initial response from this movie was quite fantastic. I think that it's impossible to envision what a coupling of Jan de Bont and Joel Schumacher could possibly result in, because that is phenomenal.
Yeah.
I think that, to me, what I thought my initial feeling of the plight of this movie was a search for peace. And that to me had no initial religious, heavy-handed moral thing. It was these people, for very different reasons in very different ways, all finding in the end a certain amount and respect and appreciation for peace.
And they are humbled by the experience, and so they should be.
I think so.
Because young people are invincible. They don't think about death. They don't think about dying or getting sick or any of those things.
But when you think about it, people use young people as a specific example because they seem very reckless and kind of with this abandon.
Yeah.
And at the same time, everybody at this point has done their fair share in promoting the destruction of this world. So isn't that kind of a reckless abandonment another step towards killing ourselves? So it's not just isolated to the young people who are just more obviously kind of outrageous and have this sense of immortality.
You know what I liked about Rachel, and maybe it's what you liked about Rachel as well, is that there's a lack of great female roles these days, whether they're the lead or whether they're in a group ensemble. And she's a person unto herself. She has her own secrets, of course. And it's one of the better roles to come along that I've seen that was well written. You obviously saw something in that character that you could identify with.
I thought she had a great courage and strength, and coming from such a really sorrowful place of this guilt that she has put on herself for so long. It's amazing how far in her life that she's gone,
Yeah.
carrying around this baggage of this responsibility for her father's death. It's got to be a horrible burden, and to try to overcome that in such a pursuit of knowledge for at least some kind of thought that maybe he's gone to a place that isn't so horrible, to try to ease the guilt that she feels.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think she's kind of wonderfully intelligent and demands a kind of respect and equality. But there's still a side to Rachel that's very, soft and wants to be loved and is very caring of other people.
Isn't there parallels here between yourself and Rachel?
Oh, sure.
Fine. Next question. And as Rachel says, I don't want to kill myself. That's really neat. A nice soft line in there. It's really neat. How did you feel seeing Rachel on the table, seeing yourself on the gurney?
Well, that was scary.
Jeez.
When I went to the movies, I saw the trailer, and it sent me for a bit of a shock. But I thought it was wonderful, though. I really liked it.
I got scared for you. Boy, audiences, what are they going to think of this? What do you think they'll think of? Stand back and be a fan now.
Oh, I was. I watched it Saturday night, and I was the biggest fan of Joel Schumacher you ever saw.
Yeah. What visuals. Oh.
This man is just beyond brilliance. He's gone beyond it all. Anyway, I think with this movie, Joel was finally given a big enough kind of playground to really do all of his wonder and magic. And he's absolutely done it. And I watched it as a complete, awed audience member like you've never seen. I was absolutely overwhelmed.
You going to take some time off?
Oh, yeah.
You say you are, but are you?
Yes, I am.
Good, fine. Good. Go to Canada. Thank
August,
you.
yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks.
All right.